Hard as it is for me, a rabbi and lover of words, to admit, words can't always convey our deepest feelings and experiences. After this past year and a half, we have all felt things that go far beyond words, which is why it is such a gift this morning to invite Liz Lehrman to our bima. A friend and collaborator of Rabbi Bookdahl's, Liz Lehrman is a choreographer, performer, writer, teacher, and speaker. She is also a visionary and has been recognized as such by the MacArthur Foundation with its Genius Grant. Liz's work goes far beyond dance. It helps tell stories that are at once universal and achingly personal. She does this through the medium of our very own bodies. She's with us this morning to help us tell our story. Liz, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. When I came in yesterday to rehearse with these amazingly wonderful musicians, I was overcome with the beauty of this space. And it made me think overnight about what it is to spend a day here, a day when we are in such grief, pain, remembering our sorrows, trying to come to terms with the year we've had, and to do it amidst such beauty. It turns out that that was the subject of the stories that we told at the beginning of Slichot, this congregation together, and out of those stories we made a little dance that I'll teach you in a minute. I send regards to you from my home synagogue, Temple Micah in Washington, D.C. That was my spiritual home for 20 years. And it's because they made a space for artists, not just the musicians, but the dancers, the poets, the storytellers, that I actually can even find a space to be here. And again, I'm in gratitude to them and to all of you. I think that creativity, imagination, yes, even our bodies and dancing, I think these are a part of our birthright. But as we know from our own texts, birthrights get stolen. And so even though what I want us to do now feels as natural to me as breathing, it may not to you, and that I understand that. So let's just say this. You are entirely in charge of your bodies. I don't say that lightly. We know there are parts of the world that's not true, and actually in our own country that's not true either. But for today, now, this moment, you are. And this means you can join in if you want, you can watch if you want, you can witness, you can close your eyes and pray, whatever suits you. If you decide not to, though, I always like to tell people 3 things. 1, keep breathing. It's good to say no, but keep breathing. Take the time to be in awe of our bodies, which we know have been the landscape of so much of our struggles this last year. If you decide to say no, maybe it's just not your thing. I like to say turn discomfort to inquiry. It's a good time to just reflect on it. And lastly, if you wouldn't mind, just keep a pleasant countenance on your face so that people around you can enjoy themselves or come to terms with themselves or with the memories that we're going to share together. So we'll just start with what I said, breathing. So if you all just want to take a breath. Oh, yeah, maybe another one. And we don't have to do this all in unison or anything like that. Just breathe. Great. And then we're just going to take our hands for a minute and just take a little stretch. Maybe you've already done this morning, but just take your arms up for a minute. Up you go. There they go. Beautiful. Just a little stretch. Yeah. And we'll come back down again. It's really good to move. And if all you do is move the atoms and molecules around, it's good. Okay, one more time. Just your hands up. And this time, if you can, take a look up. And you'll just see how gorgeous it is in here. And come on down, great. So your rabbis brought a poem to a group of us together that had something to do with this. What does it mean to have a broken heart? And what is our relationship to beauty, or how do we find it even when we're brokenhearted? And those were the stories that we heard. And so the first thing we tried to figure out was how to make a movement that went with a broken heart. I can't tell you everything that happened that night, I'd love to, because it's really like midrash. Like, just for a minute, take your hands like this. Does that feel like a broken heart? Or does this feel like a broken heart? Does it feel more like you want to be close? Do you want to be here? So your bodies tell you stories all the time. I'm going to teach you what we decided, but anytime you feel like changing it, well, you're in charge of your body, right? So this is how we ended up. The beginning of the dance actually goes like this. Someone said we need to open, so bring your hands like this, everybody. I'm going to teach you as we go. And then it just closes in like that and comes close to your chest. The next story was just, she said she tried to open out, take your hands like this. And the world was just full of tension, and so she went like that. I want to give you a little trade secret. You know, in dance, a lot of times it looks like people are doing that. They're not, because you'll hit the person next to you. You may have already done that. So don't do that, okay? Just take, it's a little bit in front of you. It looks sideways, but it's like that. And then someone said that she gardened, she took a seed like this. She said she cared about the seed as if it was surgery, and she had a surgeon's hands. She planted like this, and then we closed over like that. And indeed, a friend of hers had been in surgery. And so you can think about those things as we do it. Let's review for a second. Right? We came up like that. Beautiful. And here. You come in, and this is that place you can experiment a little bit, how close you want to be to this heart of yours. You open out like that. Experience maybe just for a minute. Oh, what kind of year was this? And then out of that uncertainty comes this beautiful idea that I can plant a seed, open it out, even my own hands like that of a surgeon, like this. Someone said that she was closer to the end of her life than the beginning. And then she went something like this. We pulled our hands together. If you can get behind you a little, it's nice, but you may not be able to. The idea of being behind, just because of the way the pews work. But she said she's still making a contribution. And when she said the word contribution, she did this. Here again, you can play. I know you've all been contributing this year. Has it been pressure? Has it been light? What's the nature of that touch? Great. Then we got to some of the harder stories. We're just going to take our head and we're going to hold it in our hands like this. You know, your heads weigh 20 pounds, you all. So if you can, you really let them rest there for a minute. Okay, and come back up. Thank you, it's beautiful. It actually looks like prayer. Beautiful. So I'm going to just show you this next part, because it's kind of interesting. We're here, but we wanted to look back. We wanted to look back and see the year, but it's hard to do. So when you're here like this, you can actually push your head with your hand a little bit and just look back, just a little bit. Let's try that. You're like this. And if you just push a little bit, you can make your head look even if you don't want to. And with that practice, you can go the other direction further because you've practiced. And then we're going to come back to the front. Let's review again, okay? One nice thing about dancing all together is that you don't have to remember it by yourself. If you forget something, you can look to the person next to you. And again, you can always make it up, but here it goes. We started this way. We have this open heart, but then actually, it was hard. Open out. Maybe now you're beginning to find the movement makes sense to you. In addition to the stories, the movement itself, beautiful, that's it. I love this part when we get to turn over the soil. Yes, it was a hard year, so we have to come like that. Understand the contributions we made, and yet still we have this sorrow, so over we go. Push. Can you look back just a little bit? Maybe you can look back and see more. And then all most of the stories had something like this. We're going to take our arms up like we did earlier, reaching for the light, reaching for the light. It was a hard year. As someone said, we lost people. Someone mentioned closing the eyes of a beloved. And then we're going to just end it right here in a kind of an embrace. So our gratitude to the people who told stories and helped make this up. We're going to do it now to the actual text that started it all. Now your personal stories start to mingle with those of others, and let's see how it goes. So we'll do the dance to these words, okay? Thank you.
If, as a rabbi said, a broken heart is even better than an axe and can free all the locks on the gates opening out onto the new year, we are also the tree, the breeze, the earth, and the person who, having made our way here through the streets of the city, through the mica shining pavement of the mind's metropolis, opens the first gate with the master key of a broken open heart and says, "What beauty! How might I make my way to a land I have promised myself, with new clearings on leaf-rich earth?" Opens the first gate with the master key of a broken open heart and says, "What beauty!"
And now, for those of you who are able or wish to, let's stand up for a minute because it's very nice to do it standing. You can all stand, whether you're dancing or not. Just stand. Beautiful. Good. And for those of you at home who might be doing the streaming, welcome. We're so glad. It's nice to dance in your own homes, too. We'll do it all together once. And then, actually, we're just going to do this side. So you guys will do it, and you can watch. And then we'll do this side, and you can watch. And then we'll do it all together one more time. So those of you in the middle sections, if you want to just turn slightly towards the people on the other side, it's nice, yeah. So all together once, then this side, all together again. Okay. Ready? Here we go.
Return again, return again, return to the land of
We're
your
sort of all doing this together. Here we go.
Return again,
And if you want to sing, you can.
again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn, and return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are.
Just this side, you all get to watch. Here we go. Ready? Just let the music into you. Here we go.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn, and return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn and reborn.
This side. Are you ready? Here we go. And
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Beautiful, everybody.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn and return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and
And one last time all together. With our memories, our stories, and our
return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn and return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn and reborn.
it's very beautiful to see everybody. Thank you, and we'll remain standing.